podcast where best friends and next-door neighbors, Willow and Lillian, spill the tea on murder, mysteries, and other things that go bump in the night. So get your favorite teacup ready, and let's get into it. Welcome to Cruelty Podcast. This is Lillian, and with me is Willow.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Brain's not even soup today. It's dry.
Girl,
There's
she
nothing
got
in the
some
pot. Allergies, epilepsy's being foolish. I'm tired, so I can't be responsible for anything that comes out of my mouth today. If it's unhinged, I'm sorry. Anyway, it's still serial killer month.
Yeah.
Well, female serial killer month.
Luckily, it's one of my episodes that I researched, and you don't have to worry about braining tonight.
Wouldn't have happened. I'd have had to call it in. Who are we covering?
Oh, who?
I don't know.
Rosemary Ndlovu.
I haven't heard about this case.
She is a South African black female cop turned serial killer, something that I never thought I would say. So, yeah.
I mean, surprisingly, quite a few cop turned serial killers.
Really?
Golden State Killer. He was a cop for a while. Yeah. There was another one, and I can't remember. You could probably do a whole month on it. Please don't.
Well, female cops are so rare. And then adding the serial
the other
killer.
Rare part, which is serial killer. What's the trigger warnings on this one?
Honestly, not many. I'm proud to say that, or I'm happy to say that there's no like sexual content to this episode at all.
Oh, thank fuck.
It's a fucking
after my last one.
I know, dude.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah,
that one was hard.
Yeah. Actually, like, I mean, there's murder. That's why we're here, but like,
I'm not going to, here's the thing. I'm not going to trigger warning murder for a true crime podcast because you clearly know
that's what you signed up for.
I mean, to be fair, there are crimes we could cover that aren't murder, but
true.
that's
and
not.
We have a couple times, I think, but
yeah, but for
they
the
were
most part,
stories that were
for the
really
most
good.
part, it's murder. So,
good job.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So Rosemary Ndlovu was born in a small village near Bushbuck Ridge, in either 1978 or 1975. I saw an even amount of mixed reviews on what year she was born. To parents Maria and Maxwell Ndlovu. She had an older sister named Audrey and a younger sister named Joyce. They were a very poor but very loving family. When the children were still young, their father passed away, which was, not only detrimental to their family from like a emotional standpoint, but a financial one as well.
Yeah, I was going to say.
They didn't have the money to bury him, so their mother had to borrow the money and work extra jobs to pay it all off, while also being like now becoming the new sole provider of her family. She had to work multiple jobs in farms and factories to put her children through school and pay back all that debt. Now, many people believe that by seeing this struggle as a young girl, that Rosemary would have possibly understood the importance of not just, becoming financially stable, but also the importance of insurance, specifically funeral policies. As she grew up, Rosemary set her sights on making it big in Johannesburg, which after she graduated high school. And this is very common in many rural areas. It's usually seen, in the smaller communities that you go to the biggest city, like the
closest big
city, and that's where you're going to make it big, and
around these
pull
parts,
yourself out of poverty.
We call it going to town.
Going to town.
I'm going to be going to town, and you know what I mean by that.
The place with the stores
and things that are open past 5. Yeah.
But Johannesburg is more than just a big city. It's the largest city in South Africa, the nation's capital, and the population is over 5 million people. The separation between upper and lower classes is extreme. With over 2.3 million people living below the poverty line, the crime rate is 17 per 1,000 residents, a 1 in 59 chance of becoming a victim of crime there.
Oh, that sucks.
It's extreme. It's very extreme. South Africa is known for having the reputation for having one of the highest murder rates in the world, with high levels of inequality, poverty, alcohol and drug abuse, homelessness, unemployment, and the cultural normalization of violence.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's in the culture. And the majority of the murders go unsolved due to the inability of police to staff enough officers and detectives to keep up with the sheer number of cases. I read somewhere that like each cop had to like buddy up per car because they didn't even have enough cop cars in Johannesburg. It's the odds are not in their favor.
No.
As of 2020, only less than 20% of murder cases actually made it to trial.
Oh, wow.
20%.
And, you know, I do want to say, we're not that much better in the United States.
No, not
Only
at all.
33% of cases make it to trial in the United States. And those numbers may be a little off because it's from, I would say about 2018 was the percentage that I looked up. And I can't recall why I was looking that up.
Oh, there's tons of reasons to look that up for your cases.
Who knows?
Yeah.
And it just stuck with me because I like the 333 and that always sticks in my brain. But I was, after doing this podcast for 2 full years, I'd like to say I was surprised.
No.
But I'm not.
No.
Just the incompetence. I mean, I think it's something like an astronomical amount. Over 60% of rape kits still aren't tested.
That was the same with the studies that I looked up too.
And that's just
Why?
pathetic.
Like,
You know what I would like to do on this podcast, and I'm just going to take a minute because I want people to know my goals, is I want to start like some kind of charitable thing where, you know, our listeners could maybe order something like some kind of
course.
merch.
Absolutely.
And then as much profit from that as possible goes towards funding testing of those kits. That is like big on my to-do.
God, yes.
So I'm going to post something together
Hell
one of
yes.
these days.
I believe in that. Put my stamp of approval on that.
Good.
For sure. But yeah, I mean,
Excuse me.
this community was definitely one of those as well. And I hate that people call the United States a quote unquote first world country. We know that's incorrect.
Classist and racist.
Yes.
Instead, we call it like the global south or the name of the place, Africa. I mean, it's just
Right.
You know,
but I mean like the global like viewpoint of America of the United States being so high up on the
go
list.
to some Midwest town.
Exactly. It's
and
just as dangerous as all these other places that
not
you
only
think
that,
of
just
like
as much poverty and
Absolutely.
yeah, we have a lot of technological innovation in this country, but not most of its citizens do not have access to it. So I don't like this first world, second world, third world
Exactly.
shit, and it needs to go
Exactly.
fuck itself.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Immediately.
Absolutely. But yeah, Rosemary, you know, grew up in this environment. She saw, you know, the need for more police work. So once she graduated high school, Rosemary ended up moving to Johannesburg, furthering her education, and she ended up entering the South African Police Services before eventually being promoted to the rank of sergeant, which was a huge deal. She was strong, reportedly very masculine woman, and police work was a natural fit for her physically. This gained not only, you know, the respect and notoriety of her family and community, but also her fellow police officers and staff. Being a poor Black woman turned sergeant, like, this held a lot of pride, and rightly so, at least up until this point. This is a huge accomplishment for her. And so,
Well, yeah.
you know, her family members looked up to her for it, and they thought, you know, look at all the things that she's accomplished, you know, I want to follow in that wake. You know what I mean? So with this new life and higher income came addictions to gambling.
Oh, no.
Her employees even started to notice that when the loan sharks came looking for her, she just happened to not be at work.
Yikes.
Debt began to pile up, and she continued her gambling spree. She was extremely intelligent, and she decided to find a way to make up for her money loss. Life insurance fraud.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's other ways.
I'm sure there are plenty of other
Yeah.
ways.
Well, my thing is that gets
There's
me.
many other ways besides murder.
Well, yeah, obviously. I was being a little tongue-in-cheek. I was being a cheeky bastard, as the Brits say. But Now, I feel like what's interesting is so her mother was just drowning in debt. And then you repeat the traumas from your childhood to try and find resolution and closure for them. I find that interesting and sad.
That it like kind of came back.
That it circles around like she had to create it. For herself, you know what I'm saying? And because like people don't want to talk about it, but being in poverty, especially as a child, is exceptionally traumatic.
Extremely traumatic.
It makes you weird. Even when I'm doing well financially, which I mean, for the most part, I know it doesn't seem like it, but I am. As long as there's not a major expense, I'm fine. But what gets me is that I still have the mindset of someone with far less, of like homelessness and stuff. It's really hard.
Well,
hard
once you've been homeless,
you always have it in your mind. Like you look at place and be like, oh, that's a good place to park.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to get on a too big of a soapbox, but I do believe that just being homeless can have like actual physical repercussions to your brain.
Trauma,
yes,
for sure.
Absolutely. Because it's one of your hierarchy of needs that you need met. And, if
it ain't met, it's going to fuck you up.
It is. And I that comes from a place of somebody who's been homeless.
Yeah.
It definitely affects you.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that that's kind of not exactly what she was going through, but
it's close to it.
It's close
for sure.
Growing up in extreme poverty.
She did have a loving family, but
But nothing can
the scarcity.
Also, just seeing your poor mama just work herself to death. It's awful. It's awful.
Yep. So, so when her family, or when she brought this idea of insurance, of life insurance to her family, they were none the wiser. They were like, of course we'll sign up for life insurance. She's a cop.
Of course, they trust her. It's family, and she's law enforcement.
Exactly.
We're taught to trust law enforcement, and I'm sure this is universal. I don't think
and
it's just
with
American.
the backing, of her father dying and them not having the insurance to cover everything, and their whole family had to see them go through it. So when she brought up life insurance, this was a normal conversation for them to have.
It's like she took the place of the father.
Yes, and she was taking care of them because she was more financially stable than them. So she was looking out for their best interest, and she wanted to help them. Why
wouldn't they sign up for it? I would.
Exactly.
If it was presented to me that way.
Exactly. So not only did they trust her, but of course, since she had made it such a big deal that like whatever she said was in their best interest, they believed her. They also didn't know that she was taking up policies with other family members. So each time that she went to a family member and talked to them about these policies, they had no idea that they thought they were the only ones.
So she's coming to them almost like in confidence.
Yes.
Like, I've got this deal. It's really
voicing
important.
very specific concerns for their own well-being.
And being like, hey, and Dad, and how devastating that was.
Right.
Oh, that's so gross. That's so sneaky and gross.
And as law enforcement, Rosemary explained to them that the mortality rate was extremely high for impoverished communities, especially in their area. Like, she would talk to them about the statistics.
That's a word.
That's fun. And so by filling out their life insurance policies for them, she was able to, convince them that since she knew what she was doing, she could get them the best deal and all of that stuff, kind of take care of it for them. And she would even pay off all of the policies.
So she's paying for it too.
Yes.
Basically, she just wants their signatures on there.
Exactly.
Oh, so creepy.
Her first cousin was her cousin was the first target. His name was Madala Witness Homu, and loved ones called him Witness. Rosemary expressed concern.
I really love that name.
Love that name. I know.
It's amazing.
I know. There's a few names throughout her family. I don't mention everybody in her family, but there's several names in her family that I'm just like, damn, that's a good name.
It's just good.
It's good. But yeah, Rosemary expressed concern for Witness's mother, or to Witness's mother, for him and the company that he kept. She was like, look, he hangs out with the rough crowd in the rough areas. And she explained that because of the people and places he hung out, that he was at a higher risk for becoming a victim of violent crimes, and that she should add him to a burial society. And that seemed like an appropriate thing to do as a mother concerned for her son's well-being. Like, absolutely.
Obviously.
So she accepted it, and with her consent, the policy was filed. But what she didn't know was that Rosemary had listed herself as witness's wife.
Oh, even worse.
Yeah, that's her cousin. But they don't know that.
No, how would they know that? Exactly. They got different last names.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh. Wild. Okay.
So a few months later, in March of 2012, witness disappeared without a trace. Rosemary, seemingly completely distraught by her missing cousin, used her status as a police officer to head the search for him, reassuring her grieving family and promising to do everything in her power to find him. He didn't have a cell phone or any form of social media or anything like that. And there was actually hardly any photographs of him. So it made it hard for the search for flyers and things like that. But the search didn't last long, of course, because she headed it. His body was found a few miles away in... Okay, I gotta practice. I practiced this word. It's hard to say. Olifantsfontein.
Oh, very good.
Thank you.
And people from South Africa,
I'm
if
sorry.
we get any of this wrong,
yeah, please tell me.
Reach out. We try our best.
It was a long word,
but we're ill-educated Arkansas
Olifantsfontein.
So, yes.
Yeah, anyway, he was found there and beaten to death. Autopsy reports stated that the cause of death was blunt force trauma to his head. His death was ruled as a homicide, of course, but because of the sheer volume of unsolved murders throughout the lower class in that area, his murder was overlooked, and Rosemary ended up receiving over 131,000 rand, which is nearly 7,000 US dollars.
It's so sad. That's just not a lot of money. For someone's life.
For someone's whole ass life.
I mean, gosh, like even $1 million. You know what I mean? Like, how do you put a dollar?
We're not murderers, Lillian. So
okay.
I can't think that way.
Well, I'm trying to think that way.
I know, but like
thinking of the effort and the risk versus reward,
the amount of money. That's not even.
I wouldn't do that for that amount of money.
That's not even a new car.
I mean, new to me, but
I know.
Right?
I know, girl. I know.
Don't ask me to buy no life insurance right now, Willow. I'm good. I'm good.
I'll probably die before I can afford it.
That's true.
So it's reported that though Rosemary promised to use the money to help in the funeral costs, she only gave them 200 rand, which is approximately 13 US dollars.
Oh, come on now. That's fucked up.
That I'm like really holding back. Like my blood boils.
It's disgusting.
Yes. Absolutely. Witness's family couldn't really put up much of a fight, though, because against the money that she gave them, because they were too poor and they couldn't physically waste they had to go back to work. They couldn't grieve. They couldn't, put up a fight. They couldn't.
They just went into debt in order to get him back.
They literally just had to put his body in the ground and go back to work.
Sucks.
It's so tragic. It's so fucked up. So yeah, because of all of that, because they had to keep working, they didn't really suspect a thing. And this whole scheme seemed to be pretty profitable for her. So she continued gambling and filing life insurance policies against her family members. Rosemary invited her older sister, Audrey, to come stay with her in Johannesburg. And when she did, she made sure that her sister was well taken care of by helping her fill out a life insurance policy. Just in case anything were to happen to her, of course. Just like her cousin, she made sure to help her sister file out the claim and continued to pay all of the payments on time until once again it was time to cash out. In June of 2013, Audrey was found in her rented room in Tembisa, murdered by a combination of strangulation and poisoning. Rosemary received a check for over 717,000 rand, which is over 376,000 US dollars.
I just don't even have words for that shit.
Granted, that was more money that time, but
still.
Disgusting.
It's your family.
It's your sister. Your sister.
imagine. I always wanted a sister.
Me too. God damn it. So just weeks after her sister was murdered, her niece, Zanelli Motha, she was found beaten to death. Rosemary had also filed a claim against her and received approximately 120,000 rand, which is approximately $6,000. $6,000 for your
How old
niece.
was her niece?
I didn't get an exact age, but I mean, if it was her sister's daughter, I think late teens, early 20s.
That's
probably.
what I was guessing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Disgusting.
Rosemary had met her boyfriend, Maurice Mabasa, back in 2011, right before she started all the killings. And after the 2012 and 2013 killings, she ended up kind of like chilling out for a bit. And honestly, in my own opinion, I don't give opinions usually, but I'm personally assuming that she took a couple years off because she was financially stable with him, living with her.
That's what I guessed as well. And, a new relationship, especially if you have, like, kind of some addiction issues, you'll play them down.
Absolutely.
The first couple years until it all catches up with you again.
Right. But, yeah, it seems like most of her decisions in life are money-driven. Pretty much everything she does is money-driven. So if that's the case... it just feels like maybe her gambling was, I mean, she was still gambling, but maybe her gambling was a little bit more profitable during those years, or maybe her gambling problems didn't matter because her boyfriend was paying all the bills. Yeah. Now, Maurice worked as a driver for the U.S. Embassy, and he was known in the area. Like, everybody loved him. Everyone loved him. He was very kind and caring and a very generous man. He worked hard to take care of his 6 kids and his 13 siblings, as well as his elderly mother.
Wow.
You do the math. How much is that? Like 20 people.
20 people.
Yeah.
Don't make
including
me do math
himself
when I'm so tired.
And Rosemary. That's 22.
It's a lot.
Now, after his death, his brother Justice, just a great name, told reporters, quote, he was handling the plans which were organizing his house for a new house for their mother to live in. But after his death, we had been so devastated. And so he went on to say he loved life and he had friends all over from Malamulele to Limpopo to Tembis in Joburg. But he was a person who was just well received and everyone loved him. And yeah, she fucking killed him before he could complete his mother's house. Like, that's all he wanted in life, was to be good to the people that he loved and to take care of people.
Yeah, it's gross. I hate it.
A few years into their relationship, the two had a child together, and soon after their baby was born, their relationship took a turn for the worse. At the beginning of their relationship, they seemed to be absolutely head over heels for each other, but as time wore on, so did the financial stresses from her gambling. He was sending money back home to help with his family, and she was just kind of blowing it all of her money. And so... yeah, that definitely puts the toll on the relationship.
Yeah. Addiction and financial issues kill so many relationships.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. By the end of their relationship, they were just constantly fighting, constantly bickering. And when Maurice couldn't take it anymore, he would actually just leave and go stay with a friend. He had tons of friends all over the place. Lots of people loved this man. So he didn't ever have a problem finding a place to go stay. But yeah, he would have to go leave to sleep somewhere peacefully for the night and then come back to take care of his child in the morning.
Sad.
So sad. So in October of 2015, so yeah, 2 years after her last murder, Maurice was found dead, dumped in Olifanstein, with over 80 stab wounds.
Ooh, that was personal. See, the other ones, I don't know. Blunt force trauma.
She had put a hit on him.
Oh, she had put a hit on him?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I don't know why the 80 stab wounds.
That's a lot. It's overkill. It seems really personal.
It seems really personal, but apparently this one was a hit.
Wow.
It's likely all of them were a hit, honestly.
Yeah, I was fixing to say, I bet they were a hit.
Yeah, she seems like she had a hitman addiction as well. Because, boy, howdy. From his death, she received 131 rand. So just a couple $1,000s. Sadly, it was also stated that their daughter, Makahani Mabasa, died at the age of about 1 or 2 in 2017, mysteriously in a hospital in Pretoria, just randomly.
Oh, that is grand.
Rosemary never said how she died. The records were never released.
Was she ever charged? Or
she was never charged. That's why I'm really picking my words carefully.
Does seem a little suspicious given her.
It seems very suspicious.
Yeah.
Now, later in court, she would say that she took out life insurance policies on all her victims. Like, she said that. But she never admitted to the death of this child, and it was never released if she got life insurance on this child. But it's likely that she did because it was her child, and she could prove that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we don't really know for sure. It's just stated that she died under suspicious circumstances. But just like the others, when she was at the funeral, she was completely inconsolable. She really put on the show at every single one of those funerals. I mean, she had to, but it was very believable. Nobody suspected a single thing. She just thought, everybody thought this woman was just really suffering.
Wow.
But yeah, so in April of 2017, so not long after her daughter died, her nephew, Mayeni Mashaba, was found murdered and dumped in I'm sorry, there's just so many syllables. Olifantsfontein as well. And it was later found out that he had met up with Rosemary the day before. Cell phone records proved this, and when police found his body, they found his cell phone with the last call to Rosemary. Of course, she would deny all accusations of this.
Oh, yeah.
She said that she had given him a ride and dropped him off in a garage near Pretoria and just hadn't seen him since. So something must have happened to him after she dropped him off.
Conveniently.
But on his policy, she had him listed as her spouse, and this time they asked for proof, which she had none. So
Obviously.
They denied her policy.
Oh, wow.
Which is very ominous, given her track record.
Yeah.
So now she has to kill again, right? Next is her nephew. She's just going down her family tree, dude. So her nephew, Brilliant Mashiko, Audrey's son, was found dead in January of 2018. He was also last seen with Rosemary 2 days before his body was found. He died of head injuries as well. Rosemary had taken out several life insurance policies on him. She later stated in court that she had placed anywhere from 2 to 4 policies on him. On at least one of the policies, she said that Brilliant was her son, which she could not prove. So they denied all of the policies.
So he died for no reason.
Both of them did, yeah.
Yeah.
Cell phone records showed that he was with Rosemary traveling from Johannesburg to Bushbuck Ridge the night before his body was found. Now, luckily, she would be taken down in a sting operation, just like she deserves, before she could claim her next victims. She had a whole hit list, basically, of her entire family tree. It was like over 20 people long.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Or over 10 people long. 10 to 20 people.
Still, whatever. It's
her whole ass family, dude. So one of the hitmen she hired, she had actually arrested on gun possession charges, which he was later cleared of. He later told the courts that she had approached him and asked him to kill her sister Gladys. Rosemary convinced him that she could forge a life insurance policy on her and they could all get paid. So he talked to his friend and they agreed to split the money and, do the hit. The two men met up with Rosemary on their way to Gladys's house in Tembisa, and apparently they were promised a mere 15,000 rand, which is about 785 US dollars. But they were only giving 800 rand, which is about $40.
Jesus.
Yeah, she was like, there's your down payment. And they were like, nah, fuck you. No, not to her face. They acted like they were going to go do it. And then they just kind of ghosted her. They like just never talked to her again and didn't kill Gladys. Yeah. It was also stated in court that it was believed that not only did Rosemary hire hitmen that she had met while working as a police officer, several hitmen, but also that she used her job as a police officer to kind of expedite the cases so the bodies could be found sooner, so that way she could cash in sooner.
Oh my God.
Is that not vile?
It is gross.
So Rosemary hired someone else to perform on a hit on her sister Joyce. Now, she wanted them to set fire to her house while all 5 of her children were inside. The plan was that they were like somehow going to be poisoned so that way they didn't feel the flames. Like that makes it any fucking better.
Doesn't, no.
No. She was hoping to collect insurance on the whole family, but she couldn't. She could only get an insurance claim on Audrey. Now, the hitman, this hardworking killing machine, like this hitman, heard this story and was like, whoa, like, no. Like, not to her face. I mean, he agreed. But after she told him what she wanted him to do, he was like, oh, hell no. And like went to the police immediately. He was like, yes, is it not? Like, that's putting his whole life at jeopardy.
That's how much it disturbed him.
Exactly.
Damn.
Yes. So, yeah. So police took this as an opportunity, of course, and they got an undercover cop to pose as an accomplice, and the two men went to meet with Rosemary wearing a camera. The plan was to meet up with her, and she'd drive them to her sister's house, which was about an hour or so away, and she was going to explain the plan on the way, and then once they got there, she would point out the house and kind of talk about, like, you know, the layout of the house and how to get in and all of that. She was just giving instructions this entire trip.
Right.
So they got it all on video. Now, in the footage, she says, quote, "You know I don't have money. You know I'm doing this so I can get a bit of money. You've seen that my car is on the brink of being repossessed. I just don't have money." When the undercover cop asked her if she had taken out a life insurance policies on all the 5 children, she said, quote, I won't pay out for the children, only for the mother, but they cannot be left behind since they will be there too. You know that sparing them will mean leaving behind witnesses. So when the house burns down, everyone burns with it. And she made sure to reiterate not to leave any witnesses behind.
Jesus.
She's just ruthless. Just absolutely ruthless.
No warmth in there at all.
No, just cold, hard cash. She said that she hoped that the fire would be considered an accident so the insurance policy would go up. She, of course, was arrested as soon as she got back to Johannesburg. When she got to court, she just ate up all the attention, posing for them, like posing for all of the press.
Oh, yeah, I looked at pictures of
her. Yeah, you can tell she's
posing.
She's posing. She even asked, like, am I posing right? Like, you know, she's like, what about this angle? You know, like talking to, yeah, she's like, take my picture. In court, she showed absolutely no remorse as she pled guilty to pretty much all of the murders. She took full responsibility for murdering her family members and attempting to murder her sister and all of her children. After that, during the mitigation, she addressed the families and completely denied all responsibility. Like, extreme mixed signals right now.
I find that's really common. Like, part of them wants to get caught, and so they'll confess. And then they get a lawyer.
Family.
And when they get a lawyer, the lawyer's like, girl, no.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I get you. I get
Yeah.
you. So she said, quote, "To all these families, I know they think I am responsible, but that is not so. The truth is only known by God. However, be that as it may, I would like to ask them to forgive me. I have also made peace with the court's decision, and I accept it. I welcome the decision of the court. I am not angry with anyone or at anybody." She then told the court that she, quote, "was not angry with the investigating officer who investigated into the matter and accepted that he was doing his job."
Oh, thanks.
Right?
I'm
Like,
so glad you're not mad.
wow, I needed that. Thank you for the closure, Rosemary.
Fuck.
Yeah. So she ended her mitigation by asking if the court would transfer her to the Kasi prison in Johannesburg because she wanted to be closer to her family,
Fuck off.
just in case they wanted to come visit.
Boy, that is not a bitch I would visit.
Girl, when I read that,
It's just so gross.
it did not seem like she was like trying to, gain some sympathy or something.
I think she's so removed from the
No.
realm of reality.
I think it's a threat.
Ooh, fuck. I think you're right. Damn.
Does it not feel?
Yuck.
It made my stomach fucking turn whenever I
See, I
read
don't even
those words.
think that way.
Does it not?
Yeah,
seem
but I
like,
think
hey,
you're right.
come
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
come see. Why don't you come see me?
I sure fucking won't. I never will. I will run away.
I'm saying.
Damn.
She did later get caught with a cell phone in jail, but it was kind of like a jailhouse community cell phone that somebody had snuck in and everybody had used it. So it ended up not proving to be a big deal. But I mean, it seems like, even the courts even said that it's likely that she would reoffend, and if not on the streets, in jail. Like,
Well, no shit she'd reoffend.
I know. So Rosemary was sentenced to life in prison for each of the 6 murders. She was also sentenced to 5 years imprisonment for defeating the ends of justice, 10 years of imprisonment for each of the 4 counts of fraud, 10 years of imprisonment for each of the 7 counts of inciting to commit murder, 10 years imprisonment for the attempted murder of her mother.
Jeez.
The judge went on to say, quote, "The accused monetized the lives of her relatives. She saw them as a commodity.
Yeah, for sure.
The lawfulness in which she carried out her criminality threatens the very existence of society." He went on to say that Rosemary, quote, "needed to be removed from society for a very long time."
Like, forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my thing is if she hired a hitman, did they ever find that the hitman went to the
There were
police?
several hitmen that came to
Well,
court.
they should definitely be in jail too,
They should.
but they're not because they were protected witnesses.
Yep,
I'm going to
and
assume.
then, yep.
What a bunch of horse
they,
crap.
They were part of the...
We need to
evidence.
rework that whole thing.
I know. They should at least get something.
It just reminds me of Carla Homolka and how that bitch got away with it.
Don't say that name in my presence anymore. It sounds like a vomit, like her last...
Blech. Yeah, sounds like something my cat does every morning. As a hairball.
God, my cat Carla Homolka in the corner over there, and I gotta clean it up.
I stepped
So
in it with
gross.
socks on.
My God. And the thing that sucks about Rosemary is that, like, she's so charismatic.
Oh, yeah.
She's so charismatic. She's funny. She's witty. She's intelligent. She's a seemingly very caring and loving individual. She loves her family, right?
My ass.
My God.
I ain't nothing there. I bet it's all superficial.
That's a whole level of evil I don't ever want to see look in the eyes.
I know what you do want to see, though. Yeah, business time. But you can't see it if you're listening. And I'm not, like, holding up anything.
No, she's not. She's just got a cute little glimmer in her eyes because she's
Not
proud of
only
herself.
My eyes are glassy because I'm barely here. Dying. God.
She liked her transition.
I like it. I like that they're bad, and I don't care. Anyway, so it is business time. And first, I want to just be real brief. Do you want some soap? Yes, you do. Message me. I'll send you pictures of it. I have very
Yo,
little
it's
soap.
so cool. Your fall collection is so fucking cool.
I know.
Didn't you hand paint the leaves on it?
I hand paint on almost.
Oh
all
yeah.
of them, yeah. I hand painted like the shadows and like aging. I have a soap that looks like a gravestone.
I love that one.
On
it smells so good.
It smells like funeral flowers, like lilies, roses. It's lovely. And jasmine. It's just very lovely. It does smell like, a really. It's not a heavy floral though. It's very light. I don't know. It smells like funeral flowers to me. Yeah, and I've been making some more soaps. I have some little mini soaps that are really cute, too. And those are all, like, got hand-carved crystals in them and shit. Order some soap if you want to. My email is always in the description. Go ahead and message me. They ain't gonna last on the website. If they even make it to the website. I doubt I'll even put any up, if we're going to be honest. Like, I'm almost out. So, that's rad. We have a Patreon. Go check it out. Extra episodes, all kinds of perks. Let the just go read it.
Thank you, new patrons.
Thank you, patrons.
We got new ones recently.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm going to be announcing a new Patreon contest next week on this Monday.
For October.
For October.
This is the 300th episode today.
Today is the 300th episode. That means we are now at the beginning of season 3. So exciting. This is really cool.
I'm so giddy.
It's nice. Yeah. And then, we have merch. Do you want a cool t-shirt? Well, fucking yeah, you do.
They're real nice.
Cool. I wear mine all the time. And they're really nice quality. We have mugs and stickers, little tote bags, you name it, go look. It's in our link tree. Join our Discord and say hello. And give case suggestions and show me your cat.
Show me your memes.
What you made for dinner.
I know y'all have a treasure trove of memes in your phone.
I'm running low on memes, damn it.
This machine runs on memes. It gets me through the day. Help me disassociate.
Baldur's Gate memes. I know y'all.
What?
I know y'all playing that game. Willow doesn't know any pop culture anything, so I'm just
I do not.
Like she's not here or talking or going, what? When she can Google.
I don't.
Anyway, tell me who your Baldur's Gate boyfriend or girlfriend is.
That sounds gay as hell.
Mine's Asterion, because he's a vampire, and he's fabulous.
Is that the one that Maris is jealous of?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he is you.
Well, no. Maris isn't a poncy twee fool.
Oh, yay.
It's my favorite kind. Like,
Yay.
oh!
Yeah.
Don't do cishet men here.
Do they have the ruffles?
He does have the poet shirt.
Yes,
as a matter of fact.
yes.
Yeah, but he wants to kill you, sort of.
Yay.
And then, of course, there's Big Muscle Mommy, Carlock.
Muscle Mommy.
Yes, that's what I call her.
Oh, I almost teared up.
You can step on you.
Why am I gonna cry about that? I would love a
Big Muscle
Muscle Mommy.
See, you would like this game. This is the horniest fucking game I've ever played. You can fuck a bear.
No.
That, folks.
Why?
He's a druid man, and he turns into a bear because he's really spoilers.
Oh, he's a bear. But if he's a bear, I don't feel safe with this.
I do not feel safe. I don't.
Hold my hand.
But listen, folks. I've been playing video games since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, and this is the porniest thing I've ever seen.
Porniest.
I'm delighted. Okay? I'm loving it. I'm having a good time. I'm like, ooh, her titty's out.
Yay!
Titties.
There's titties.
There's titties and vajayjay. You can even pick what your vajayjay
I
is
love
like.
boobies. I really do. Sometimes when I'm sad, my friends send me pictures of their boobies, and I'm like, thank you. I'm better now.
Weird. I mean,
No, it's totally in a not gay way. It's just like, there they are. That's cool.
I'll just Google tits.
I don't need to Google
I
it.
don't want to see my friends.
I just look in the mirror. I'm like, yep, that's cool.
I mean, I've done that. I'm like, dang, look at these things. Screw myself. Anyway, more of business time. And the final bit, because I have no strength left.
I'm sorry.
The soup has evaporated, and there's just charred remains in the bottom of the cauldron. That's what we have
Ain't it?
today. One last firing neuron rolling around in my skull like a dented marble. Anyway, Willow could use some assistance.
Oh, yeah.
For her GoFundMe.
Yeah.
It's hard being a single mom.
And I'm going
trying
through
to
court.
Work things out. She's got to pay some lawyer fees. It's importante.
And there was a lot of unpaid stuff
There's a lot of unpaid stuff
that I didn't know about.
You know, I like to be helpful But I can't help with money ever. I don't have no money. But I did get my car back.
Yeah. And as soon as she got her car back, guess what?
His car died.
My car died.
So please help out because we're stressy.
I have sweaty hands.
We're sweaty spaghetti.
Yeah.
Hamburger, help us. So I am going to put the GoFundMe in the link.
Also, if you can find me find my Instagram. I have it linked on our cruelty Instagram. I need more friends on that one. I don't want to use my old private account anymore because it's yeah. So I'm there more than anywhere else. So add me on there and meet me, please. I need friends.
You know, it was funny. The other day I was in Discord and I was like, I was pretty sure nobody really listens to Business Time. They do.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that really means a lot.
It really touches me.
I just assume everybody turns off it.
I would, because I'm an asshole. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and they're like, okay, to take care of a little business. I'm like, to go to the next podcast.
I never listen to
the banter. Nope, I'll fast forward that shit.
I'm glad you guys are here still.
Well, I try and keep the banter to the end, so that way if you don't want the banter, you don't have to have the banter.
And we can just
I understand. Also,
together.
to me, and maybe this is, and I'm not being throwing shade at any other podcast, I think too much banter talking about like horrific murders is not in the best of taste.
I don't like it at the beginning.
Shut up. Also, I'm not going to tell you too much about my life. Number one, not a lot's going on, folks.
Yeah, you don't want to hear about my day.
I'm an old married lady. All I do is sit around.
I'm a toddler mom. I clean up poop and other disasters. Like
I'm just making stuff all day. I mean, if you want to hear about that, I could start the world's most boring fucking podcast. But I appreciate you guys very much, and if all you can do to support this podcast is listen, I don't want you to downplay that because it's really important, because without you we wouldn't do it.
You guys mean the world to us.
That is true. So I am now going to say goodbye, for I've now run out of gas and I must go collapse in a very
y'all get some rest too. Let's all go to sleep.
We all need to just go to bed. And if it's like you just got up
and you're on the way to work,
turn it around, call in, put on your sweatpants, your ugliest shirt, get in them covers.
My friend actually posted a picture of her COVID test and said, here you go, use this to show your boss when you want.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, just do that.
I'm my own boss. What do I do? Can't call in. Anyway, I love you guys. Bye. Us on your social media platform of choice. Linktree/cruelty has all of the links. Check out our Patreon for exclusive episodes, merch, ad-free episodes, live ghost hunts, and much more. Please be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded weekly. Thank you so much. See you next time. Music and production by Libby.